And today we are discussing digital freight, future of freight, the digital imperative. My name is Reggie John. I'm an editor with Stat Media Group. I've been a journalist for the last 23 years, but covering transport and logistics for the last 10 years. It's my fourth visit to Munich. It's always a thrilling experience to come back to Munich and be part of this big, or the world's largest transport and logistic exhibition and conference. The privilege of hosting this conference second time, in fact, actually third time. In 2021, we did a digital version of the conference, 2 sessions. We have an interesting lineup of speakers joining, and I do not want to waste too much of my time and your time. I'd like to welcome all of you once again, and for the next 60 minutes, we are going to take you on a journey of how good or bad is the digital journey or digitalization of air freight industry. We will try to be as interactive as possible. We have a keynote followed by a panel discussion. And I have the pleasure of welcoming Ashwin Bhat, the CEO of Lufthansa Cargo, to present the keynote. Probably this must be the first a big conference or a trade exhibition that he is representing as the CEO of Lufthansa Cargo. Ashwin, great to have you, and it's an honor to have you doing the keynote. Please, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Reggie. Good morning, everybody. It's always a tough presentation to make when you are the first speaker of the day or after lunch. That's the graveyard shift, I usually call it. So I try to be as interactive and make it as entertaining about a topic which each one of you has a big opinion about, because everybody can visualize what the future is, you can crystal ball what the future is, but I try to give you my perspective of what is the main important focus points, areas of actions which we will need to take, and a few slides about what Lufthansa Cargo is doing in the area of air cargo. You would all agree air cargo is volatile. You will all agree that we have gone through a roller coaster in the last 3 years. And whoever thought that the roller coaster will be stopping in 2023 is completely false, because we are still in a huge roller coaster direction. And unfortunately, the last 3 years we were going up, and now we are seeing the down, and we are all screaming our heads off at this moment. Different reasons we can all talk about. You have on the extreme right of you is the whole economic situation which is there. The global supply chain disruptions, which was in 2022, helped like a traffic jam on a highway. It just disappeared and everything is working right now. We didn't know why supply chain disruption happened. We don't know why it has suddenly disappeared. Geopolitical situation, we are sitting in Europe. It's close to home. What's happening with the Ukraine conflict, how it is impacting all of us. But it is impacting supply chain, it is impacting air cargo. The instabilities, and the biggest one is uncertainty. If you go in this room or in this conference of air cargo and ask the customers, the airlines, the supplier, what's going to happen in the next 6 months, forget next 6 months, what's going to happen in the next 3 weeks, the crystal ball, I would say, is very, very smudged or very, very hazy. Nobody can tell you. 50% says it's going to be great, 50% says it's going to be bad. 50% says Q3 is going to pick up, 50% says Q4. So you have to have your own perception, you have to have your own read, you should have your own crystal ball based on the intelligence that you have within your organization to see the future, what's going to happen. The second point is extreme right, accelerated transformation, trends, automation, technology. I was just talking to my panel colleagues just before this. Me personally, I had not much of an idea 2 months back about ChatGPT, nor certainly about AI. Nowadays, I can't open a LinkedIn feed of mine with everybody having an opinion about AI. How 80% of the jobs will disappear, some say it's 20% of the jobs will change. But it will change, that's for certain. What it means for you is something we will, each one of us in an organization will have to take a read on, because we cannot just ignore this fact that the acceleration of technology per se, automation, is something which needs to be done to bring value to you, and not because it's a new latest fad, but what does it add value to your bottom line, to your customers, to your shareholders? That's an important one. And the other topic which is going to be at most for all of us is sustainability. Sustainability is not just about air cargo, it's the wider world we will have to talk about, and air cargo will have to not just talk but take some actions on it, because this is something which is going to be not just demanded by our shareholders or wider world, it is going to be demanded by our people who are working for you, because every staff, the young generation, and everybody who's working for you is going to demand to work for an organization which is ethical, which takes the responsibility of society, is committing to the community around you. And this topic of sustainability is going to be an important topic going forward, along with digitalization. And the magic is also about how do you use the digitalization, the technology with sustainability going forward. Because sustainability per se, SAF is a big topic, but technology is the one which will help us to also take a forward step in the area of sustainability. And resilience. And what we need to be proud about is wider world, the organizations which we work, or also the shareholders have really understood, as airline, passenger airline, have understood the value of air cargo. The last 3 years has really proven, when everything was down, why air cargo is really important. And anecdotal people before COVID, when I told them I work for an air cargo, a lot of them thought I was handling baggages, that I'm responsible for carrying the baggages and making baggages are in the aircraft. Now they have understood that everything they are wearing and everything in their pocket is thanks to air cargo. And that's something we need to take it seriously, to keep this in the mind of our shareholders, of our organization, and the wider world. The value which we do is 1% transport by volume and 35% by value. And that's the real story of air cargo. And that's overall about what is happening in 2022, going forward into 2023. And over here is constantly balancing the opportunities and the risk. And I purposely always try to put opportunities before risk, because we have the obviously good luck with your challenges. No, I would say good luck with the opportunities which is there. And that's the attitude and mindset which we need to have, which we as Air Cargo have shown in the last 2 years. We need to do it going forward. Phones. Let's talk about phones. This was high tech. This was state of the art. We all thought Nokia, iPhones is the utmost. Obviously before that was the big ones with the antenna and so on and so forth. But then smartphone came and everything has changed since then. And I personally believe we can as much talk about technology of today, but personally I think it's not the end. This could be just the iPhone which we are watching, because we don't know what the future is. And that's the and world. Short term, it is there, opportunities are there, but we need to keep ourselves open for the future. And I heard a very, very good statement last week from a colleague. He was in a conference, and I think one of the ministers from Singapore made it. He said, the leadership of today has to have two things. In one eye, they need to have a microscope, and the other eye, you have to have a telescope. And don't get crazy handling the microscope and the telescope together. And that's leadership, because you have to manage the short term with the long term. Whatever ChatGPT is going to bring, whatever AI is going to bring, whatever robotics, automation, we can all talk about it. We have to see, be open, have the attitude, because change is going to come towards us. So we better look at the opportunities about these things, and that's what we try to do at Lufthansa Cargo, to invest into it and not just talk about it. And I believe this is what is for air cargo. Maybe it's a mobile phone, but the panel, I have panel who are more IT driven than me, is a business driven person, to have this debate also with them and with you, to see what is the road, what is the journey ahead of us. But for me over here is the short term with the long term. It is the attitude, it is the mindset. It is not the hardware, it is more the software. Software inside us, inside our organization, which is going to drive this digital imperative or future of air cargo or air freight in this area. 3 areas of focus of Lufthansa Cargo for us is starting from the extreme right of you, which is customer centricity. You have to think about the customer at the end of the day. It's not about you, but what are you going to add value to your customer? And it's not about one area, it's about in the overall context. And when I talk about customer, it's not about just today's customer. You have to have the focus of what the customer of tomorrow would be. And this is going to be defined by being open about technology. It's going to be open about the trends which is in the wider world. And air cargo, like I showed you, 1% by volume, 35% by value. And what is this value which the wider world, the supply chain resilience is needed, and air cargo needs to be there. So this is our focus, is adding the value to the customers today, but also focusing onto the future. Second is innovation. Being open to innovation. Innovation doesn't start, I'm the CEO, I'm in the board of Lufthansa Cargo, but innovation doesn't start from there. Innovation comes bottom up as well, and the top down have to mix together, because investments have to be made, but the ideas of co-creation, for us it's an important word, of co-creation and co-making. We do it along with our organization. We have a clear structure where we are merging these two together, and we can see a lot of value coming out of it. Is it all easy? Certainly not. There is a lot of frustration, a lot of debate, different opinions, but co-creation, but to be open for innovation is an important imperative, I would say. And sustainable. Everything we do, we need to be more sustainable. We are leaders in the whole area of sustainable aviation fuel, but we are not talking about just today's sustainable aviation fuel. We are investing into the future sustainable aviation fuel, which is power to liquid, which is still in the laboratory stage, but we are investing into the future. Hopefully in the few years, it will come into production. And all these things, you cannot do it alone. We are part of a supply chain, we are part of an ecosystem. And I usually use an African proverb over here, which says that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And every topic over here, be it sustainability, be it innovation, be it customer journey, it's about collaboration with your suppliers, with your customers, within the team as well. And that's the mindset, because we want to become world's most customer-centric, the most innovative and sustainable in the industry of air cargo. That's our ambition going forward. And when you talk about this ambition, you cannot just focus on one thing to say it's on the ground, or it's on the air, or it's in the booking system, or it's in the aircraft. We look at the whole customer journey. We have to look into from the time the customer starts searching us to managing complaints. In air cargo, irregularity happens, not with Lufthansa Cargo, but in general it happens, but we have to manage it because there is also an opportunity. And we are trying to use technology in different areas, improved booking. Over here, we work in an omni-channel way. Customers decide which platform they want to use, which channel they want to use, and we are working with every person, every provider which is there, because the customer decides what it is. It's about API, also connecting directly to the marketplaces. It's connecting directly to our customers' platforms. That's what we are investing. We are looking into pre-check and check-in. What this means is, why do we need to wait? Why does a truck need to wait at our warehouse? Why can't we do the checks of all the documentation and regulatory certification and everything that is needed before the even trucks are coming to a warehouse? You reduce the speed or improve the speed into your warehouse throughput. That's what we are looking into. API, tracking push API. Tracking is a big topic. We are looking into a website to see where is the customer really wanting digitalization, what is the area where we can invest further. And what we found in the last 3 months is that 90% of our customers are just coming for two things: to see where their shipment is and to make a booking. That's what the focus is. Speed of booking and to know where their shipment is. That's what the focus is. So we have to see how can we ease these demands of the customer, because if that's what the customer wants, let's focus into this and then slowly add into this front. And the last one is obviously proactive customer experience. This is just snapshot of what we are trying to do. But when we look into this is a lot on the customer side. But we also manage is one of the things over here is the handling. We have a huge handling facility in Frankfurt. We have a handling facility, few handling, which we run it in the US, in China. And we are looking on the ground because That's where also the truth is. In our books, the truth is always in the ground, because either you can deliver or you don't deliver. Everything else is just what you do sales talk. And that's where we are investing into robotics. With one of my panel member, we are going to talk about robotics in our warehouse. Because one of the big topic for all of us is about people. How are we going to hire talented people? How are we going to add value by having the people? Because they have to add value. And certain things which can be done by robots or by automation, that's what we have to look into. Upskill, if you want to call, or upgrade the resources that you have, the human resources that we have in our organization. And that's the focus we have. And the last for me is you have to be optimistic. You can all be pessimistic about what happened in the last years or what's happening today in the market, but it's all about driving. To lead is an important topic. And as Lufthansa Cargo, we have the onus, the responsibility of being a leader in this industry, and we are very proud about it. But proud is what we do, but we have to also take that responsibility. So leadership about driving the whole customer centricity, innovation and sustainability is in top of our books. And innovation and sustainability for me goes in hand in hand. Innovation for the sake of innovation doesn't add value. It's about customer, it's about our people, but at the same time to be more sustainable in what we are doing. Digital, we are in a people's business. We can, as I'm standing on the stage talking about digital, but it's a people's business. And the magic for me is, as an organization, how do you merge the physical part and the digital part to talk about phygital? And that's the word I use, is the merger of the physical and the digital. Because when we talk too much about digital, there you create a little bit of uncertainty as well in an organization. Oh, you're going to replace me, are you going to change me, and so on. You have to merge. That's the magic which an organization needs to make. You can easily do, oh, we do digital or we do physical. No, the magic is how do you bring it together and add value. So for me, the digital, so we are investing in our people, because at the end of the day, we can all talk or read very easily about ChatGPT and AI and so on, but if the people with the knowledge and the experience is not in an organization, we wouldn't know how to use it into our organization. How do we add value? So for me, the physical and the people part is very important. You have to be an attractive to attract the top talent. Even to retain people is an important part. And it's not also about always new talent. I always say it's about every person in my organization in a talent, and that's why they are there. So yes, I always welcome new people, but I also respect the organization which has created the successes in the past and the reason why we are where we are. So I respect all the talent that is in Lufthansa Cargo, but things are changing so fast, so we need to invest into how do you upskill them, how to create a new mindset, a new attitude into an organization so we can keep that leadership. And we truly believe in the continued importance of air cargo. That's why we are doing what we are doing. That's why we are investing into the future. These were the few slides which I wanted to bring about Lufthansa Cargo and my own perception. It's, I know, and not heavily about digital, deep diving into digital, but I believe digital is just a means, it's just a tool, it's just the way we want to work, but it's all about people, it's about our mindset, our attitude, and how do we bring these two together and use whatever is around us. We have been successful in the past as a community, as an industry, and I'm more than confident with the right attitude, mindset, and the resilience that we have shown, we will be successful into the future. So thank you very much for listening to this few slides.
I must tell you that I have a lot more questions to ask, but I think I will address some of this in the next panel. What is the first mobile phone that you had, and which year you actually had a mobile phone?
Oh, I remember I had my first, because I'm from India, I had my first mobile phone when I moved to Zurich, so it was in 2000.
2000. And what was the model?
Nokia.
A big round of applause to Ashwin for setting the context for our panel discussion. Ashwin, great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.